Hey, it's another great day in Missouri. We're on Route 66. Now you gotta meander around a little bit to get to 4048 East Kearney Street, which is right here. This is Otto's Motel Court, about 3 miles east of Springfield. So all that remains here is the main office and the cafe. Individual stone cabins behind the building were torn down. Anyway, the original building's been painted. It's got that rock finish. Sort of looks like that giraffe stuff underneath the paint. We got a sign here. A little bit used to say Otto's Motel Court. So we'll continue down this way on Kearney Street to the DriveIn Theater. Now we're on East Kearney Street, which is Route 66. What you want to do here for our next site, right across from the central bank here, on the right, we're going to find a old drive-in theater. This here is the Holiday Drive-In Theater of Springfield. Look at this. A drive-in theater here. So it opened in the 1960s, and then it closed in the 1990s. It's a nice big old sign here. I'm not sure where the hosts were for the theater, but right up here, little drive-in theater. Now a couple blocks up from the drive-in theater, we have this guy. He's the Rest Haven Court, built in 1945. Right there. So it started as a service station owned by Hillary and Mary Brightwell. Had 4 stone cottages, were added in 1947, and then it became the Rest Haven Court. Right here. And each cottage here had 2 guest rooms, and then in 1952 10 more cottages were added, and then 10 more in 1955. And that's what you have now. Look at that beautiful, beautiful Rest Haven Court. And they connected all the original cottages, so now it looks like one big U shape, and the gas station was a Phillips station. Stood out right in front. It also served as a motel office that's been dismantled in 1955 and then rebuilt here. The huge sign in front, this guy, Rest Haven Court, big old neon, incandescent lighting, that was added in 1953. So eventually the Brightwells, they sold this in 1979, and now it's just a little relic sign. And the Rest Haven Motel, truck parking, Wi-Fi, HBO. Look at that guy, beautiful. So on Kearney, you make a left on Glenstone, which is Route 66, and we'll park and I'll show you a couple cool things right by the Whataburger. At the Come and Go at Kearney and Glenstone, we have a giant Ampersand Sign. The historic Route 66 of Springfield. You see all these cool places like the Railhaven Motel, the Rock Village Court, the Commons at Jordan Valley, even the giant Hamburg sign in Red's L. But I'll show you something over here that's kind of cool too. Now headed westbound on Kearney, right at the Come and Go, we got the big shots. This little cutout right here heads out to Glenstone. This is the original part of Route 66. Used to cruise up and make a nice curve onto Glenstone into town, but now they've squared it all off. You got to go out and make a left-hand turn. It's a little interesting factoid about this little road here by the big shot. Now on Glenstone up here, we have the Flagship Motel. It used to be called the White City Tourist Park. Built in 1927. 1959, it was replaced with a new owner, called it the Americana Motel. In 1981, it became the Flagship. Here's Fazioli's. Anyway, the Flagship is still operating today. It used to have a really tall, googie, space-age flamingo design, flashy neon sign in front, but they got rid of that, unfortunately. Here we have Glenstone Cottage Court right here. It's an old Otto court. Opened in 1947 with 14 units. So originally it was called Black's Cottage Court, and it's pretty much unchanged for 75 years. My goodness, there's a little Route 66 history here. Look at that, 75 years. The Glenstone Cottage Court. That's pretty cool. Here we got the train coming over trestle here. And further up ahead, a place called the Dogwood Inn. Now continuing on Glenstone, this is Route 66. There's not a whole lot of Route 66-ish stuff here. A lot of it's newer. The Farmhouse Cafe here that opened up, and a cricket station here. This guy here, the Dogwood Park Inn. How about that? Another relic. Route 66. Look at this big U-shaped motel. So it used to be called the Silver Saddle, then the Baldridge. The Silver Saddle Motel was built in 1939 and was reformed in 1957. The original name of this guy was the Baldridge Motor Court, and of course it renamed in 1957 to Silver Saddle Motel. In 1997 it became the Dogwood Inn. It's got this really cool looking gabled roofs, and look at that, little shelters here at the Dogwood. And in front there used to be a big pool. That's a covered grass area. Now it's St. Louis Street and Glenstone. It's Route 66 here, of course. We got a bunch of little buildings here. This guy here used to be a Tidal gas station. Opened up in the 1940s. Anyway, it used to be a gabled roof, two-story building. Anyway, you got the two bays here in the back. Across the street, this guy here, it's a Sanders service station. Served Standard Oil. It's the original building. We got the two offices and two service bays there. There used to be a cafe on the left of the office, but it was replaced by two additional bays. And this guy here is called Signs Now, across the street by the little Midas there. That used to be called the Manhattan Dinner House. My angle better here. Manhattan Dinner House. Little red brick building. Anyway, had big lettered sign on the roof. Green, white striped awning. But it kind of looks a little different now. And here is the Best Western of Railhaven. Got a cool car here. Anyway, the Railhaven Motel opened in 1938 with 8 cottages. Now it's called the Railhaven Motor Court, or the Best Western up here. Park at your door. And up front, I'll show you why it's called the Railhaven. Right? Because up front here, we have the original rails. They used to go around the property. That's why they called it Railhaven. See that? Little rails right there. Little fences. So in 1984 it became the Best Western. And this guy is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The office building right in front here, that's original. It's got a stone chimney. Or used to, there we go. It's our original stone chimney. Still standing. Used to have an old neon sign. But here, there we go, the old neon sign's right up there. Here's our little marquee. Elvis stayed here in 1956. Now right in front of the Best Western, we have the great neon sign here. Springfield, Route 66 birthplace. and a little display here of the rails in the Rail Haven Motel. But up here, this is really cool. We call these little roadside signs. Right, this will never, I'll read them all to you as we walk up here to the sign. This will never come to pass. A back seat. These are called the Burma Shave signs. This will never come to pass. A back seat driver out of gas. Up here is Burma Shave. So Burma Shave was originally Burma Vita, company out of Minnesota. 1926, they started a campaign advertising Burma Shave, no shaving cream. So you find these little signs all up and down Route 66 and the highway systems of America at the time. Everyone tells a little short story to get your attention. Wow, here's the Rail Haven Motel sign right here for our new Best Western, which is behind us. It's a beautiful little building. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of these Burma Shave signs we'll find up and down Route 66 as we go from town to town, especially from, say, western Missouri out through Oklahoma and Kansas. So you're going to drive down this way, East St. Louis Street. This is now Route 66 here. Zigzags all over the place until we get downtown. Hey, up here on the left on East St. Louis Street, look at that guy. He's called Carl the Chef. He's one of our giant muffler men. You find these statues all up and down Route 66. He's located at the Route 66 Food Truck Park. That's what used to be here. He's wearing his little French white hat there on top. Chef's hat. He's holding a spatula. Oversized meat fork. He's placed here in 2020. Here we have Route 66 Automotive. It's half of a car sticking out. Over here is the Price Cutter, McDonald's, and Car Tech. And here on the corner, that's our Steak and Shake. This guy is an original building, one of the few unchanged buildings along Route 66. It opened up in 1962. And so the chain, Steak and Shake, it actually started in 1934. And despite its name, there's no steak on the menu. They're famous for their steak burgers though, which are actually just ground T-bone, sirloin, and round steaks. It's got this perfect Route 66 sign right there. Neon classic. It's original relic from this little Steak and Shake hamburger joint. Now up on the right is the Route 66 Springfield Visitor Center. This great modern neon sign. It's a good spot to find out more information about Route 66, what you can do up here in Springfield. Now up on the left, past the Visitor Center, this is the Kentwood Arms Motel. Built in 1926. It's a super luxury stop on Route 66. 6-story brick sandstone building. So it originally had 100 rooms, a rooftop garden, right up there I believe, a ballroom, and a beauty parlor. And the Kentwood is used for Republican conventions and meetings, whereby the Democrats usually use the Colonial Hotel for their meetings. So famous visitors here well included Harry Truman, Pat Nixon, Bob Hope, even Groucho Marx. And there were plans to build 2 more hotels in this giant lawn area here, but that never came to fruition. So in the 1960s, our Kentwood here, now called Kentwood Hall, it was turned into apartments. Today, it's owned by the Southwest Missouri State University. The little mascot here is the bear. It's used for student housing. Goes way back in history. This says 1939, Woodruff sells building to Earl Mulder. Hey, this mosque looking building here, this is the Abu Ben Adam Shrine Museum. It's built in 1923. It's not a religious building, it's a 5-story auditorium. It seats 4,000 people to watch whatever show you want to watch. They host a lot of events and weddings. This building is on the National Register of Historic Places, built in 1923. This blue building, turquoise building, called the Sky 11, it's an apartment complex now, but in its heyday, this was the Woodruff Building, built in 1910. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. It's known as Springfield's finest skyscraper. It was once home to the Missouri Court, several law firms. So originally, it was built with red bricks, had an ornate marble in its interior. But after World War II, it received this little blue turquoise color. In 2014, it was renamed the Sky 11 apartment buildings. Now, just to the left of this big Woodruff building, right there, that's called the Gilo Theater. It's a little marquee on the outside. Built in 1926, little Spanish-looking style, little super narrow strip of property between two buildings. So Mr. Gilio's, he's a bridge builder, so he built this building totally with steel and concrete, but he used wood for the handrails and the doors and the door frames. Drive by, it hosted live stage performances, operas, got a great big Wurlitzer organ for silent movies. Even had a sound system installed in 1928 for the talkies. So performers there included Dave Chappelle, Elvis Costello, George Clinton, and even Billy Ray Cyrus. So the last show was in 1980, and now it's restored to 2006. We're going to stop here at what's called Park Central Square. Look at a really cool monument I think we have here. So we're at the Park Center Square of Springfield. This place is on the National Register of Historic Places. Got a beautiful fountain and a great building up here called Here's. This little plaque commemorative of the official birthplace of US Highway 66, the main street of America. So over here, I'll show you. Remember the story I shared about Wild Bill Hickok? Charles Butler, Wild Bill Hickok. So he got in a gambling dispute with a professional gambler named Dave Tutt. And then Dave won, and Wild Bill had to give him his watch. And Wild Bill said, hey, if I ever see you wearing that watch in town, I'm going to shoot you. So anyway, they ended up meeting here by accident. They had a little gunfight, and Wild Bill shot Dave Tutt. Right out here, there's a placard. I'll find a little monument for you. But here is to honor those poor guys that were lynched. Horace B. Duncan, Fred Coker, and William Allen. So in 1906, a lot of African Americans here, but a couple guys were accused of assaulting a white woman. Falsely accused. Anyway, their jail was mobbed, and the guys were taken out of jail and lynched and then burned right in the park here. That's really sad. And we got the Battle of Springfield marker, right? And we have another Battle of Springfield here. So it's all about so the Confederates took over first, and then the Union took over next and helped secure the town. And here's the little plaque to remember Wild Bill. Right there. Wild Bill shootout. So Davis Tutt was on this corner. Wild Bill was here, and they paced off at 75 yards. And then Wild Bill got him, but he's acquitted of manslaughter by jury 3 days after the trial. Just kind of wrap around all of Springfield around the square. You see all these cool old buildings, some murals on the wall. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But up here is the oldest building in all of Springfield. I'll show you. This place is really hard to find. Right across from Hollywood Theaters, little construction area here. That there is the oldest building in all of Springfield. It's called the Calaboose Old Jail. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. Built in 1891. Now it's a restored museum. Look at that. It's home to the Springfield Police Department. Get a closer look at our 1891 jail here. Calaboose. It's kind of hard to find with all this construction going on. Old Calaboose Jail. It's a big jail. We had a bunch of criminals here at one time. See, National Register of Historic Places. Right here, look at that. No one's getting out of this thing. Anyway, it's all big old iron bars. Anyway, well, you can't look inside, but that's what you get. You get inside there? Nah, not really. Anyway, I thought I'd show you that little site here. Here we have the Monarch Art Factory. Hey, Grant Avenue. Little murals here. Route 66 mural. Bunch of old cars. Three Stooges. Over here, look at that. Mother's Brewing Company. So Route 66 continues on College now. Just zigzags all over the place out here. We end up at the Route 66 Roadside Park. Here we have Bud's, established in 1958. Down there. Look at that, Route 66, 7-Up. This old house here. There's an old building here. Looks like a little roadside gas station. Garage. Old little A-frame, gable roof. Another old building here. Okay, it's a realtor. Look at that, Springfield. Look at that building. Holy smokes. This is the birthplace of Route 66 Roadside Park. Let's take a look at this sign. Kind of strange looking. Now this sign here, this is the replica of Red's giant hamburger sign. So originally his hamburger joint was on West Chestnut Expressway. It opened in 1947 and closed in 1984. It's said to be the first drive-through joint in the United States where customers would order and pick up their food by driving by a pickup window. Anyway, the owner had to cut off the ER at the bottom there. It used to say hamburger because the sign was too tall and was going to hit the power lines. So it's a pretty iconic replica here of the giant Hamburg sign for Red's Giant Hamburgers. Now across the street from the park, all these murals here. It's called the Mural of Route 66. Dedicated in 2001. It's a work of a local artist. Uses naive style mosaic to commemorate Route 66. This is Jordan Creek, right down there. This little slab, it's 1934. They built this little thing here, it's supposed to be rather iconic. Of course, right here are the railroad tracks. Up here on the left is a College Street Cafe. We also have the Car Museum Gift Shop, Route 66 Car Museum. Okay, so here's a little closer look at our car museum here. It's all checker flagged, raced out. Got a couple old cars here. Look at that vet we have inside there. Look at all those cool cars inside there. So continuing on Route 66, College Street, all sorts of goodies. You got a little mix of the old and the new. Look at that. Automotive service tires. This is Cliff's. Looks like he's out of business here. Cliff's Auto Sales. So right up here, we're looking at the Rockwood Motor Court. Right there. Wow. This is built in 1929. It's a super Route 66 classic motor court. Used to have a Shell oil next to it. See a little Shell right there? There's an old car there too. Beautiful. Rockwood Motor Court. No vacancy today. So it opened 1929. Little giraffe style local stones. In 1948, it became officially known as a Rockwood Motor Court. It was renovated in 2019. Right over here. And it's open today. If you want to stay there. In an old Route 66 place. Here we got a place here. So on the left, look at that. That's the Shamrock Court on Route 66. Built in 1935. Originally called the Shamrock Square Motel. Now it's called Shamrock Place. There we go. The neon sign there, that's original neon sign. The clover on it for Shamrock. Here we have the Route 66 Barbershop. Established in 1948. It's got that little barber pole going around. Just absolutely gorgeous. Looks like he still does hair in there. Across the street, this here is the historic Rock Fountain Tourist Court. Right here. Built in 1945. Originally called the Rock Fountain Court. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's got this whole semicircle here of 9 cabins with the original giraffe-style Ozark rock pattern. We find a lot out here in Missouri, up and down Route 66. Used to be a rock fountain right in the middle there, but it's gone. Now it's an apartment complex. It's called the Melinda. So finally getting out of town on US 66 byway. This is called the Chestnut Expressway. And right here was where the famous Red's Hamburg place was located. And then it closed down, and they moved that little iconic sign up to the park where I showed you earlier. So that's our little tour of Springfield, Missouri, on Route 66. There's a lot of more cool stuff to find out here. A lot of rock hotels and rock bars and rock diners and all sorts of goodies. But anyway, hope you liked that video. It's a nice place to visit along Route 66 here as we head to our next little town on the way out to Needles, California. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.